luck to the guys at the analyst desk.
Thank you, Quick Shot. We're going to break it all down, starting with picks and bans, because we theorized a little bit, okay, what should the Unicorns of Love do? They can't tilt in picks and bans, but they have to ban out. Only one adaptation, or the most effective adaptation, I should say, Udyr, and giving Gambit the exact same comp. So what happened?
I think the only thing I want to complain about before we go to the good part is like the fact that they are prioritizing Morgana over Maokai, because Maokai has proven yesterday and today that he's a strong force no matter what. But I really, really like that they put in Sion. Like, no matter how many times you gank Sion, he's always going to be Sion. The same, like, kind of theory about around Maokai.
Yeah, I actually really, really agree with that last Sion point. Like, they really needed a self-sustaining top. Like, when they had Hecarim, it's like, you got to give Hecarim some love or it can go bad. But Sion, it's like, yeah, he was 0-2. It didn't really matter. So picking like that, although they gave Gambit all the champions they wanted, which I think is really risky, I think they had way better pick and ban than first game.
Yeah, and Sion dying 2 times, but it was because of a 2 versus 2 that happened later, because we didn't see the same amount of pressure on the top lane, and you actually had a good eye on why that was.
Yeah, I actually didn't notice at first why they didn't do the regular like 3-minute gank from Diamond like he did in game 1, but if you watch, Maokai takes the Wraiths. So Rek'Sai is starting double golems and can't hit 3 from his red side jungle. So he has to go double golems red and then to blue. So he's now away from Cabochard. He's like homie in the early game. So this just, let the top lane, unbattling for a bit. And Kiki's got his little cheeky gank bot. And that was like, well, what do we do now? Like Rek'Sai's on the bot side. He can't do his top stuff. Bot lane just died. And that's where our jungler is like, what do we do now?
I think it's also very important to note the fact that Morgana, like Hylissang, went into the jungle at that time and saw Rek'Sai. That provides so much space for Sion at that 3-minute mark. And Udyr was allowed to kill the Scuttle Crab on the left side on the map, and Sion is basically safe. I think that was like a key point.
Yeah.
So Unicorns of Love also selected blue for the other games. Do you think that comes into play here? They chose to put more pressure on the bottom lane here in this case because they know that they couldn't put it on top in the game before. Do you think that will be the key, knowing that they will have the dragon control off that as well?
I don't even know, man. Like, I have no clue. Like, I can't... When I looked at the picks and bans, I was like, all right, this is either super hubris from UOL by giving Gambit all their comfort champions, or it's just their geniuses and they know exactly what they want to play against it. Like, they did the scaling mid, who actually Betsy was able to, like, out-roam a few times, which was pretty important. But then they got the top Sion, which I think was important. But I'm still like, are they just going to keep giving Gambit this and you hope that Gambit does like a risky dive?
Yeah. Gambit, a risky dive. Well, we do have a replay of that. Well, Gambit, the idea was good. We're going to get that up on the screen in a second. The idea was good. Top was pushing, but then they overstayed their welcome.
Yeah, like if you pause it like right now, this is why I just don't like the dive. Like, let's just pretend the turret isn't there. If you look at UOL's positioning right now, they have 2 tanks in front of their AD carry. They have an Orianna next to their AD carry, and same with their support. So with an Orianna comp, this is the perfect fight. You want a 5v5, and you want to have a nice oriented team for like Orianna-oriented, like Illuminati stuff. Like, this is exactly what they want. Now add in the turret. They're 2k gold behind, and this just goes terrible for them. We can start rolling the clip right now, and they want to get on Vordogs, but they have so much peel for them. Like, they have the tanks in front, and they have 2 supports helping them out. So now, like, Pinoy's tanking the turret because they didn't even start it correctly, and the position is just so bad. They're just trying to get kills now. This is Gambit trying to get anything they can off of this, and all UOL has to do is, hey, let's play around the turret. Hey, let's, like, protect this guy. They actually don't have to make plays right now. All they have to do is kill who's in front of them.
Yeah, and right after that, actually, a triple kill, I think Power Evil even gets another kill after that, and then, as Officio said, you just skip the mid-game, and all the fights after that, Unicorns of Love, even if it was a risky engage, kind of like the opposite of what we saw in Game 1, they were able to pull it out. And in a second, right after this one, I want to get up the next replay up on the screen, because in the top lane, sometimes it's a risky engage, but Udyr played it so well.
It was actually very, very beautiful. We can see this. This is kind of highlights how Unicorns of Love like to play. They kind of put in this solo queue style where they just basically fight all the time. Sure, Gambit have the stronger comp, but it feels like they got a bit out of comfort after what happens at bottom. And Orianna at this point basically skipped to mid game and is directly into late game because of those 4 kills. We see Kick is playing this up beautifully. I don't even understand how he survives this. Like, he stuns up Betsy, and it just... everything just comes together, and this is something you kind of see in solo queue, and this is like what Unicorns of Love want to do.
Yep, it's beautiful to watch, and if you're bad at the mid game, just skip it, but it won't happen. Then you guys were talking about how this actually just proves that they're both not particularly good at the mid game.
Yeah, and I think it's really scary for Gambit right now because, yeah, they're working on their mid game. I think they're really improving it. And now they're against a team who is just like chaos in mid game. So I think they're pulling Gambit back into like their old style that they've been not practicing. So now they're playing UOL's game, and I really am not sure how they're going to be able to like come back with a solid mid game if they keep playing like this.
I also want to highlight the fact that earlier on the broadcast I said that Unicorns of Love are really good at punishing mistakes, and I think the first replay really showed that.
Yeah, absolutely, and it got snowballing off of that 1-on-1 all square, so it's time for us to take a break, but don't go anywhere, as it is all tied up. We'll be back in a few minutes with Game 3 between the Unicorns of Love and Gambit.
For similar to comp, just have in mind that if we slow down the game and play the early, not too reckless and don't die, their siege is awful.
Do it! Do it!
He's going in!
He's going in! Flash! Back! Slap! Finding Pinoy is down! Power of Evil is trying to get through the members of Gambit. Kickers now out of mana.
Good job! Get him! Get him, baby! I have my scissor. He doesn't have mana. He doesn't have mana. How much mana for the second? He doesn't have flash. Just kill him. Good job!
As Unicorns of Love will take down Gambit's Nexus to close this game out in definitive style.